This attitude right here will guarantee that you will always have a second-rate collection and will never have an opportunity to buy the most important items in your collecting field. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean by telling you a story complete with receipts of an interaction that went down between me and the greatest postal history dealer in the country, Richard Frajola. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, in no way did Richard compensate me for this, although he is aware of it because I do use private messages between him and myself in order to illustrate my points. This story takes place in 2018 when Richard sent me this email about some material that was available from the Kramer Collection, which is a very famous Western postal history collection. Now, he knew I was on a budget and he recommended a couple of the less expensive lots to me, like this Fort Laramie that was $400 or this Camp Floyd that was $650. And before you come at me for what inexpensive means, keep in mind that Richard is a man that regularly deals in million-dollar collections, and in this same sale he had a Fort Bridger sell for $27,500 and a Fort Laramie sell for $8,000, both of which were fantastic prices on those items. But the item that caught my eye was this Oregon Trail letter right here that is date-lined Platte River Ferry 125 miles from Fort Laramie. And the reason that got me so excited is that that ferry was actually located in what would eventually become my hometown of Casper, Wyoming. Now, there's only one area of collectibles where I am truly an unrivaled expert, and that is in Wyoming postal history, and I can tell you that this is the very earliest piece of paper that could have possibly come out of my hometown, and as such, had incredible value to me personally. Richard had this item priced at a very reasonable $3,000, and despite the fact that there was no way I could afford it, I had to ask him what kind of terms he would take if I was going to make payments in order to buy this cover. And Richard immediately offered it to me with a $600 discount at $2,400, with payments stretching out over the course of the year at $200 a piece. Now, it's easy to assume that he had overpriced this cover initially and was just discounting it in order to make a show of things, but I can assure you that there's not a doubt in my mind that within a week of the sale going up, he would have had a cash buyer at $3,000 because this is a very important piece of Oregon Trail history. And in addition to costing himself $600, he went through the hassle of watching me struggle to make those $200 payments, always replying the same exact way whenever I was having a problem making a payment with no problem. Now, I know it's also easy to dismiss this generosity by saying he's just trying to build relations with a future customer and he'd get me on the next one, but the truth is that when you're operating on the level that Richard is, there's absolutely no way I'm ever going to be a significant amount of income for me because he regularly sells covers that are in excess of the value of my house and my truck combined. And that's not the first or last time that he's done that. Just this last February, I was in a position where I wanted to sell a cover that I had previously purchased for $5,500. I offered it to him for $500 less than I had initially paid at $5,000, and in less than 8 minutes, he responded to me, offering me my full original purchase price of $5,500 because we both know the cover is worth well more than that, and that's just the kind of guy that Richard is. And the whole point of that story is that when you have the belief that something is worth whatever somebody is willing to pay for it, it means that you're walking into every situation with a dealer in opposition to them, where they're trying to get the absolute most amount of money that they possibly can out of you, and you're doing everything you can to chisel that price down. But that disrespectful attitude of believing that the only thing that a dealer cares about is the dollar amount that they can get out of you is going to turn off serious dealers like Richard. I can guarantee you that if I tried to chisel Richard on every price that he came at me with, whether it was a good price or not, there is zero chance that I ever would have been offered the opportunity to buy not just this cover, but those other two covers that I highlighted that even though I didn't buy them, those are two of the top 10 items that I deeply covet for my collection, and the only way to get opportunities like that are to have positive relationships with dealers like Richard. They are really the biggest proponents of the hobby who are doing everything they can to make sure that people develop as they continue to collect and help them develop the most outstanding collections in the world. Folks, treat your dealers with respect because they are the people in your hobby that have more experience and knowledge than anybody else out there, regardless of who the collector is. And I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt that I wouldn't have the collection that I have, I wouldn't be the collector I am, without the kindness and generosity of Richard and other dealers like him, and I deeply thank them for it.